Read the question carefully. So we have 80 pounds of weight hung by two cables. So we have T1 tension applied here and T2. So let's find the horizontal and vertical components using vector. Okay, suppose this is origin and we have like y-axis vertical and horizontal x-axis. Okay, this is y vertical, this is negative side of x, and this is 50, means this angle is also 50 degrees. 38 degrees means this is also 38 degrees. Okay, now for T1, this will be the horizontal component and vertical component. For T2, this is the horizontal and vertical, and we know that horizontal component is given by cosine of angle and vertical component is given by sine of angle. Okay, and similarly here horizontal component, vertical component, and for 80 pounds there is another force here. It does not have horizontal, it has only vertical in negative direction, and we know that the resultant force applied to this point is 0. That means for T1, let me write down the horizontal and vertical components in terms of vector notation. So for T1 cosine of 38 degrees, that's in this direction, by the way, negative x, so this is negative, comma T1 sine 38 degrees, that's in this up direction, which is positive. That's for T1, plus similarly for T2, so T2 cosine 50 in positive x direction, so this is positive, comma T2 sine 50, that's the second vector, plus for the third there is no x, it's just applied directly vertically downward, so 0. Vertically means vertical downward means negative 80, and the resultant is 0. Okay, this 0 vector. Now we combine first components and we combine second components. That is, by the way, and this 0 vector is same as 0 0. We can write in terms of vector. Okay, that means the sum of first components is 0. Okay, and sum of second components is also 0. So this implies negative magnitude T1 cosine 38 plus T2 cosine 50 plus 0 is 0, and second components here T1 sine 38 plus T2 sine 50 minus 80 equals 0. Now this is a system of linear equations in magnitude T1 and T2. Solve this equation, this system of equations for magnitude of T1 and magnitude of T2. Okay, so from, let's say this is 1 and 2, from 1 let's isolate T2. Okay, I'm gonna use this substitution, so move this over, so T2 cosine 50 is T1 cosine 38. So T2 is just move this over, so T1 cosine 38 and T2 cosine 50 divide by cosine 50. Okay, let's say equation 3. Now substitute equation 3 into 2. Okay, and then by 2, T1 is just T1 sine 38 plus T2 is found here, that is T1 cosine 38 divided by cosine 50. That's T2, and we still have sine 50. Sine 50 minus 80 equals 0, and we can move 80 over, just 80 both sides. Okay, this term has magnitude T1, so we can factor magnitude T1, then that leaves sine 38, which is a decimal number, plus cosine 38 sine 50 over cosine 50. Okay, cosine 38 times sine 50 on the top over cosine 50 on the bottom equals 80. Then T1 is just 80 divided by this decimal number. In fact, sine over cosine, we can write tangent 50, but just use calculator. This is a decimal number. 80 divided by this decimal number, that gives us T1, and that comes out to be 51.45. Okay, that's one of the answers. And plug T1 into equation 3, and we get T2. From 3, just plug in, use your calculator. T2 is then T1 is 51.45 times cosine 38 divided by cosine 50. Use your calculator. This comes out to be 63.08 pounds. And these are the two answers. Okay, that's the answers. Final